Ancient Rome was a city of paradoxes. The magnificent capital of the world, commanding the fates of nations, suffered from a problem familiar to any modern metropolis: total traffic chaos. The streets of Rome were narrow and winding. By day, they literally boiled over. Merchants, porters carrying palanquins, soldiers, slaves hauling amphorae, all of it merging into an impenetrable, living gridlock. The authorities found a radical solution. A special edict by Julius Caesar banned freight wagons from entering the city during daylight hours. Supplying a city of 1 million, and Rome was exactly that, was pushed to the night. And with the fall of darkness, a true hell began. Hundreds of carts clattered along the cobbled streets, wheels creaked, oxen bellowed, drivers shouted. When Emperor Hadrian completed the construction of the Pantheon in 125 AD, he created something that humanity would not surpass for nearly 2 millennia. The dome, spanning 43.3 meters in diameter, the largest unreinforced concrete vault in history, stands to this day without a single crack. The secret lies in a stroke of engineering genius. The Romans used different types of concrete at different levels of the dome. At the base, heavy material with tuff and brick. Higher up, progressively lighter. Pumice and volcanic ash reduce the load. By the time you reach the summit, the dome weighs many times less than it does at its foundation. This was not intuition, it was precise calculation. At the center of the dome sits the famous oculus, a circular opening 9 meters in diameter. No glass. Rain does indeed fall inside, but the floor has an almost imperceptible slope and a hidden drainage system beneath it. The oculus is not merely decorative. It relieves structural stress and provides the only source of natural light, which moves slowly across the walls throughout the day like a giant sundial. In most cities of the world, a stray cat is a problem. In Rome, it is part of the cultural heritage protected by law. In 2001, the city authorities passed a decree officially recognizing stray cats as an element of the biocultural heritage of the Eternal City. From that moment on, cat colonies were granted the right to remain wherever they lived. They cannot be caught, relocated, or driven away. The ancient ruins are home to particularly large numbers of cats. The square of Lago di Torre Argentina, the very place where Julius Caesar was assassinated, today serves as the largest open-air cat sanctuary in the city. Volunteers feed them, treat them, and have them neutered. Tourists photograph them endlessly. This is no accident. Cats have lived in Rome for millennia. In ancient times, they were prized as rat hunters, guardians of granaries and temples. They survived the empire, barbarian invasions, plague, and the entire Middle Ages. Every night, when Rome grows quiet and tourists drift back to their hotels, a municipal vehicle pulls up to the Trevi Fountain. Workers in gloves carefully collect the coins from the bottom: euros, dollars, pounds, yen. Over the course of a year, around 1.5 million euros accumulate. Every last cent goes to charity. The tradition of throwing a coin into a fountain is older than most people realize. Even in antiquity, travelers would toss coins into the waters of springs, appeasing the gods. The fountain itself was completed in 1762 to a design by Nicola Salvi. It stands nearly 26 meters tall and 49 meters wide. It is the largest Baroque fountain in the world and one of the most recognizable landmarks on the planet. Thousands of people gather around it at any given moment, shoulder to shoulder, backs to the marble, one hand raised with a coin. Every schoolchild knows the story. Rome was founded in 753 BC. Romulus drew a furrow in the earth, marking the boundaries of the city, killed his brother Remus, and gave the new settlement his own name. A beautiful legend. Almost all of it is fiction. Archaeologists discovered an inconvenient truth long ago. On the Palatine Hill, one of Rome's famous 7 hills, traces of permanent settlements have been found dating back to the 10th century BC. That means people were living here at least 200 years before the official founding date. Huts, hearths, pottery, burials, all of it predates Romulus. What is more, the very name Rome, Roma, continues to divide linguists to this day. Some believe it to be Etruscan in origin. Others trace it to a Latin word meaning river or current. Still others insist on Greek roots. Nobody knows for certain. The city existed before it had the name we know. There are cities with cathedrals. There are cities with churches. And then there is Rome, a city where churches appear on every corner, down every alleyway, behind every unremarkable door set into a crumbling wall. The official count stands at more than 900 churches within the city limits. This means that if you were to visit one each day, it would take nearly 2.5 years to see them all. And that accounts only for those open to visitors. Many are closed, abandoned, or repurposed for other uses entirely. The reason for such concentration is both simple and staggering. Rome is the capital of the Catholic world. For 1,500 years, the papacy accumulated wealth, power, and influence here from across Europe. Every religious order, every nation, every wealthy pilgrim considered it a matter of honor to build or adorn their own church in the eternal city. The result is an extraordinary density of masterpieces. Churches hidden from the tourist gaze hold frescoes by Raphael, sculptures by Bernini, mosaics from the 5th century. Admission is free. Visitors are almost nowhere to be seen. When we think of the Colosseum, a stark grey silhouette comes to mind. Darkened travertine, weathered arches, majestic ruins. This image has embedded itself permanently into our culture. Postcards, films, logos. Everywhere, the same thing. Severe, monochrome, almost mournful. But the real Colosseum looked nothing like this. On the outside, it gleamed white. The facade was clad in polished travertine, a cream-colored limestone that, on a sunny day, was literally blinding. 4 tiers of arches were adorned with plasterwork and decorative moldings. Bronze shields lined the upper parapets, and marble statues of gods and heroes stood in the niches between the arches. Inside, it was even more vivid. The walls were covered in colored plaster, red, yellow, blue. The seating tiers were marble. The wooden arena floor was painted and strewn with sand, sometimes colored sand, so that the blood of the gladiators would not be quite so conspicuous. Above the spectators stretched an enormous retractable awning, the velarium, shielding the crowd from the sun. Ancient Rome consumed more water than many modern cities. By various estimates, around 1 million cubic meters of water flowed into the city every day, feeding the bathhouses, fountains, private homes, and public latrines. All of it without a single pump, without electricity, without any mechanical devices whatsoever. Nothing but gravity. Roman engineers solved the problem with disarming elegance. The water source, a mountain spring or river, was always situated higher than the city. From it, a channel was laid, with a minuscule but precisely calculated gradient, sometimes as little as 30 centimeters of drop per kilometer of length. The water flowed on its own, slowly, continuously, unstoppably. 11 aqueducts supplied Rome. Their combined length exceeded 500 kilometers, the greater part of which ran underground. The famous arched viaducts we associate with aqueducts are only a small portion of the system, the sections where the channel needed to cross a valley or low-lying ground. In most cities of the world, football is a sport. In Rome, it is a religion, a political statement, and a personal identity all at once. And like any religion, it has its schism. 2 clubs, AS Roma and SS Lazio, share one city, one stadium, and an irreconcilable hatred for one another. The derby between them, the Derby della Capitale, is considered one of the most intense and unpredictable fixtures in European football. Not because the two sides are evenly matched in ability, but because behind them stand two entirely different Romes. On Derby days, the city changes physically. Some districts turn red and yellow, others blue and white. Mixed families, and there are many in Rome, become opposing camps around the dinner table. Restaurants are chosen by allegiance. Friends stop speaking for weeks after their team loses. Romans say, you can forgive a person many things, but not their choice of club. That is forever.